All right, Will. So just so you know, tonight we're not doing Mission Difficult. We're doing Mission Impossible.
Hey, welcome to another Nerd Hole review of a classic
Oh,
film from the early 2000s. Tonight we are talking about Mission Impossible 2, a film directed by John Woo,
mm-hmm. It
a
sure was.
a screenplay written by Robert Towne, who had
Hmm.
done things like he'd done a lot, but he had done the first Mission. He also did the screenplay of the first Mission Impossible. He also did The
Hmm.
Firm with Tom Cruise and Days of Thunder. Crazy enough, the story was by Ronald D. Moore and Brannon Braga, which both of those guys are screenwriters and television producers for 90s and early 2000s Star Trek.
Cool. Mhm.
And then we have the whole list of it's obviously starring Tom Cruise, Doug Scott as Sean Ambrose, Thandie Newton as I don't remember what her name is. What the heck is her name? As Naya,
No, yeah, yeah.
Richard Roxburgh, Hugh Stamp, John Polson as Billy, Brendan Gleeson as John McCloy, the CEO, and Ving Rhames as Luther Stickle, who's returning from the first one. Also, he's uncredited, but he's in the movie. Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Hopkins
Yep.
as Mission Commander
The
Swanbeck.
only good thing about the movie, except for the fact that he says the line that I said in the opening, which is horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. He's great.
yeah. So
Uh,
it's a 2 hour long movie. It was 120 to 125 million dollars to make it, and it made 546.3 million dollars in the box office.
mhm.
It came out on May 24th, 2000. So in a few months, it'll be the 25th anniversary.
Nice.
And that is pretty much all I have to say about the entire movie because it is a trash film. I I
Wow.
never liked this movie when I watched it
Hmm.
in previous outings. And
Yeah.
I always was like, yeah, Mission Impossible 2 is the weakest of the whatever, like six or seven that they have. And literally going back and watching this was legitimately very painful.
Yeah, it was bad.
I really, really did not enjoy it.
So I had seen this movie in theaters,
Okay.
and I think I was under the nostalgia lenses because I saw this in theaters like with my oldest sister.
Sure.
And like we went with all her friends, and it was like one of those things where it was like I went
Yeah,
with them and it was fun. And I remember it being like,
of
I don't
course.
know how, the 2000.
You were 10. You were
I
nine
was
going on
10.
10. Nine going
Yeah.
on 10.
This is an appropriate movie for a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
But I remember enjoying it like as a 10-year-old because, it's,
of course.
explosions and shooting. And I remember that dagger to the eyeball like more than any other thing in the movie.
Absolutely. 100%.
So I was like, yeah, Mission Impossible 2, cool. And then when I started watching it, I didn't get very far into it. I did one of those things where I was like, I got some time. Let me start it. Like while
Yeah,
I had like lunch or dinner or whatever, I don't even remember what it
yeah.
was. And I
Sure,
was like,
yeah.
I finished my food and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'll come back to this later. And I don't think I even had gotten to she hadn't even gotten to Australia yet. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
the festival and all that stuff, and it was just like I was just like I don't know if I honestly don't know if I can do this movie. I was so not interested in it.
And it like legitimately just never gets really better.
The only part that kind of held my attention is like when he goes to the lab and they actually do like
Mm,
Mission
yeah.
Impossible stuff, like when he
Yes. Yes.
breaks
Yes.
into the lab, the vent
Yeah.
and stuff. That's like the best part of the movie.
Yes. The funny
But
thing
that's it. That's it.
is you think about it, like John Woo, he did like Face Off, he did Broken Arrow with the John Travolta, Nick Christian
I want
Slater movie.
I want to take his face
Space. Yeah.
off.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
also did like Bullet in the Head with which is a famous Hong Kong action film. Uh Hard Boiled, which has Chow Yun Fat in it,
Yeah.
and Hard Target, which is a famous John Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah. He he doesn't care about the story. He cares about
No, no.
filming. He
Right.
cares about these scenes and they're so like
There's yeah, it's
they're so unneeded in this movie. It's so funny to me to go from Mission Impossible 1 to Mission Impossible 2. It's like not even in the same,
it's
it could be
really
a
isn't.
completely different franchise. It could be
Yeah.
it's
It's
so
it's yeah.
bonkers.
And that's and to me this is a great movie that shows that you can have a great writers because you have the guy who wrote the screenplay from the first movie, which was outstanding. And
Mhm.
then you have these two guys from Star Trek, which they're known in the Star Trek community for being pretty great at writing good content. So it kind of shows you that it's the director that really makes this
Yeah.
kind of terrible.
Yeah.
And it sucks because like I like Paycheck that he does, I like Face Off, I like those
Hmm.
movies, but it his style does not lend to this, and it makes every single person in this movie, which we already know Tom Cruise was good in the first movie, so was Ving
Hmm.
Rhames. It's like these
Yeah.
guys, Anthony Hopkins, they all act well, so it's not
I
any
I
scenes where
feel
they
too
are acting poorly, it's direction.
yeah. I feel too like Tom Cruise in this movie is a character of himself from the
Yes,
first movie.
yes, yes,
It's
yes,
like he's pretending to be Ethan Hunt again,
yes,
but it's like nobody understands that character. It's like okay, I get that he's like in charge and he's had a lot of missions under his belt and he's kind of the new dude,
right.
but he's really like arrogant and self-assured of him and I don't know. There's a lot of like really like fisted scenes where he's
Absolutely.
like trying to be dramatic and it's like not really it's not doing what
No,
you want it to do.
no,
It's like
no.
stay right here. I'll be back. It's
Yeah.
like
Yes.
okay. All
Yes.
right. He's trying to play he's Ethan Hunt, but he's trying to play James Bond and it's like it's
No, it
not
doesn't work at
working.
all. It
It's
doesn't
like
work at all. No, no, it really doesn't.
yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird.
It is. And it's glaring of how much of a difference it is. So I legitimately think not that like I'm trying to get out of it and not to be like a big bedwetter or anything like that, but I think the best thing to do is
Yeah.
just literally pick three things that we liked about it, pick the three big things we didn't like about
Mm.
it, and do some runner-ups, like one or two runner-ups,
Yeah.
and call it because
All right.
I honestly feel like we could easily sit here for an hour and all it's going to be is trashing on it, and that's not going
Yeah.
to be like a
And
productive
we don't
podcast. And I
that's not
think,
like our thing. Our thing has
right,
never been to just sit here and just bash
right.
movies. It's easy to do that. It's really easy to
It's
just
super easy,
be negative about stuff.
but it's like I want this to
Uh,
be an enjoyable experience if somebody wants to sit and watch our review of all six of these. I don't
yeah.
want them to get to two and then they have to sit through 2 hours of watching the movie and then another hour and a half of us talking about it. It's like it's okay. They
Yeah.
didn't like it either. So
So right off the bat, if you're going through and you're doing rewatches for the new movie to come out, skip two.
True.
Just
Yeah.
don't.
We can tell you right now, the only thing that carries is the voice modulation thing that they put on their throats. That's it.
Yeah. I'm afraid your friend, Dr. Nachowski, is really my friend, Dr. Um, there's this top review on IMDb that I really thought was funny, and it really kind
Please.
of sums it
Yeah.
up. He says, he's basically saying he did exactly what we're doing. He's sitting down to revisit Mission Impossible before the new one comes out. He said
Wow.
it's
Okay.
2 mind-numbing hours of slow motion and explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all he said?
He writes a
Oh.
lot, but it's
Oh, okay. I was just gonna laugh. That's all he wrote.
yeah, he says he basically goes on to say that he finds himself bored out of his mind. It's a prime example of throwaway entertainment. The
Yes.
action is dull, the
Yes.
characters are bland, the stakes are never feel important.
Nope.
Um the John Woo focuses on style while the plot and characters take a distant back seat.
They honestly do. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Um,
he writes a lot more, but that's a pretty good summary. So
the,
like I
that's a
said, the only
pretty
scene I really enjoyed was the lab scene.
yeah.
Um, the
Yeah.
bike chase is it goes on way too long,
Way too long.
way too long. The whole oh God, it's such an early like action movie horrible trope when two guys are fighting each other and they jump in the air and spin kick
Oh, yes.
and land on the
Yeah.
ground and then they both have to get up and they spin kick. It's just like, dude, that end battle is probably the worst thing I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, especially from like a AAA movie company, like a, franchise.
It is just so bad. It's so bad, and it's funny too because because of John Woo, it's like he should be good at like
Everything.
fighting scenes and stuff, and it's just like oh
I
man,
know. No, I know.
it's so bad. It's so rough. It's just spinning kicks, and then he finally falls and hits his head on a rock on the beach,
But he's
and
fine.
but he's not dead. But then he's dead, and it's just like get out of here, get out of here. They set up to really quickly that like, oh yeah, Sean used to have to like portray Ethan all the time. Like
Oh
that was
yeah,
his mission was he had to be Ethan.
for
And like
whatever
they work
reason.
together all the time on missions. And now he's selling viruses for the highest bidder because
Right.
he's a bad IMF guy now. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
I wouldn't have wanted to see them like be together in this movie doing stuff and then like have
No.
that be a portrayal later in this. Yeah, just
You wouldn't
set
want
it up.
like instead of him rock climbing, you wouldn't want like them like on a mission working together as buddies and and then all of a sudden he turns on him later in the movie. Like, oh wow,
No,
what a weird development.
that sounds really lame. The rock climbing is only in there because it's by Star Trek guys, and they wanted to tie in Kirk climbing mountains.
They're like, you know what? Everyone loves rock climb.
Should have gave him some boots, some gravity boots too.
So it's
Oh,
sticking with one of my number three choice for the one of the things I liked about the movie, sticking with
yeah.
that opening. I'm a fan of him taking the glasses off and they exploding into the intro. That I was fine with that. I
All
liked
right.
it.
Yeah.
Everything leading to
I'm
it I
not.
don't enjoy,
Yeah, I'm not.
but that just that part.
I think I think that sets the movie up. That's a perfect setup for what the movie's about to be for 2 hours. Is that
Yes.
like over the top cheesy like
Yes.
oh dun, 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 dun. Mission Impossible does.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Honestly, the
Yeah.
intro with the plane stuff is good.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That's
I enjoy going from Mission Impossible 1, seeing Ethan, and now in this one he's just like he's a
mm.
bad guy now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it's
Yep.
enjoyable.
It wasn't unbearable.
Mm-mm.
Um The other thing I was thinking about too was in 1999, a year earlier, or probably just a few months earlier, was The Matrix. So they're probably
Mhm.
also trying to capitalize on all that stuff too.
That makes so much sense that you said that.
I mean, John Woo is famous for the doves and the slow motion, like that is his thing, but also they needed, Universal Studios, or no, excuse me, Paramount Pictures needed something to come against. I think
Doves.
Warner Brothers did The Matrix. So,
The doves. Wow.
oh yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. Why are there doves
So
in the sewer?
why is there a golden, shiny, white one flying through fire when he blows up the door? It's stupid. But
Yeah.
sticking with that scene, my number two pick is it's not the entire sequence. I don't enjoy the entire sequence, but when when fake Ethan brings in when basically the mask switch up is happening and he's like his jaw is broken
Hmm.
and then he like shoots
Oh,
a leg and then he
and he
kills.
sees his fingers wrapped up.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's
Ethan
pretty
like
good.
took the stuff like that I yeah. Just that little chunk, just that little chunk, not
It's
the
pretty
whole
good.
thing.
It's pretty good because it's like the villain thinks that he's finally got the upper hand, and he's like he gives that really lame line about like this is called like popping off or like overusing your gun. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
popping off your gun or something like that because
He's
that's what
like
Ethan
blam
says.
blam blam, and it's just like oh no, he's killing Tom Cruise,
Tom Cruise
but
is
he
dead,
didn't.
but he didn't.
So I
Also,
do
those
like that sequence. That is a good sequence.
yeah, those masks apparently feel just like skin because when he's kissing her on the beach thing and she thinks it's really Ethan, I'd
Hmm.
be like, why does your face smell and feel like plastic and like rubber?
Oh, Ethan. Oh, Ethan using tongue, huh? Nice.
Um, and okay, now we'll cut back to you. You picked your
Oh,
two. You got one
their
more? Got one more?
relationship is great. It's oh, we're doing three things that we enjoyed, right?
We enjoyed,
Okay.
yeah, we enjoyed.
Shoot. Um, three things I enjoyed. Three things that I enjoyed. Let's see how many times I can say I enjoyed the lab scene.
You got lab and you got the airplane, the opening airplane. You just got one more. You just gotta find one more.
I like when they're going to the lab.
Like setting up for it.
No, I like them kidnapping the executive
Oh, in the limo.
guy
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
and they like drug him and they pretend to be the doctor guy
Yep.
and get information out of him. I thought that was a kind of a cool callback to the first movie because
Yes.
that's like their first mission.
Yep. I know what you mean. In the very first.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, I love it. Yeah, the thing I appreciate is that all the stuff you liked was all the stuff that what should have been Mission Impossible and was very close to
Well,
Mission Impossible.
yeah. Yeah, that's the only parts of the movie that were good is like when they were doing Mission Impossible stuff. I mean, the whole break into the lab with the vents and everything with the rope. I mean, it's great. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't the only reason I don't like put it in my list is because it's pretty much the first movie again. It's like exactly the same.
Oh yeah.
So it just is like I've seen it and it
Oh,
was better in the first movie.
yeah. Ethan, he'll definitely try to do some kind of crazy air flips in through the ceiling. That's his MO. That's what he does.
Yeah.
So if we can just go in the ground floor, he won't kill anybody. We'll just go in, we'll shoot all the guards. We don't care. Ethan will do some backflips in, somersaults out,
He loves all that stuff. Yeah. My number three, again, just a
lab
real
scene.
short, it's a real short snippet. And I just like it because when I learned that all of it was real, I was like, all right, that's messed up and cool. Is the knife to the eye. That's like
Hmm.
I like the fact that it's like real and it's not fake.
Yeah. No, yeah, they did that stunt. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's just crazy and messed up that Tom Cruise was like, sure.
That's really like, I mean, it's a lot of trust because it's like
Right.
obviously he's not really trying to stab him, but it's like
But you got to make it look
one,
like it.
but honestly, like one slip or one,
Yeah, I mean, there's shots of it literally like rubbing his eyelashes.
it's really gross. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Real
that
gross.
alone, I'm pleased with that just because
Do you do
it's
you remember in Dead Space 2?
oh, yes. Yes. I know
There's
exactly.
you as wow, Ethan Clarke, yeah. You as Isaac Clarke, you have to do this needle in his
Yeah.
eye. It's supposed to go like into his brain. It's supposed to get rid of all his like um crazy like seeing stuff and like just going nuts from the marker. So it's supposed
Yeah.
to like go in through his eye into his brain, and it's like you have to control the joystick, and it's
Yeah,
like this.
he has to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he has to do it, but you're doing it as the player. You're doing
Right.
like and it's like knee. It's like no, I don't enjoy eye stuff.
I don't think many people do.
I don't enjoy eye stuff. Not
Yeah,
a
and
fan. Not a fan.
I think for me the we talked about the slow motion. We talked about, a lot of the overdone action.
The
Um,
him cutting his finger off with the cigar cutter has
mhm.
always been gross to me too. It's like another one of those like
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable scenes.
Yeah, because you can like feel the metal on your finger. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like a bad guy's intimidating you, and usually they're just like, yeah, don't let it happen again. But then he's like, all right, you get it. And then as he's like taking it off, he like still decides to snip the very like just the very, and it's just like it's so much worse.
Yeah. Yes.
Like down here, take the whole like first knuckle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's bad. But like, dude, the top of your finger, and it's like part of your nail.
Yes.
So it's like now
Yep.
your nail has to like grow back and it's just a stud and it's just like the tip of your bone is just flat. It's just like God, it's so disgusting. And
Yeah.
then the other IMF guy, he like bumps into him in the at the racetrack.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's like, what were you? You know, oh. You
Yeah,
actually feel for him
yeah.
there. I was like, I'd kill that guy. Yeah, I'd kill that guy.
So that sounds like your runner up.
No,
Oh, no, you wouldn't pick it. Okay.
no, I enjoy the lab scene. And I'm trying to think because I just brought up the racetrack if there was anything. Um, yeah, I think that is good. I think when she gets the card, the camera card
Oh,
out of his jacket, gives it to Ethan, he downloads it, and then she sneakily puts it back in, and
and
you're
he
like,
real.
wow, that was close, right? And then it's
Yeah.
that next scene where he's back in his office and he's like, yeah, it's in my jacket pocket, my right jacket pocket. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he knows. That's good. That's real good. I think that's a kind of a cool like, you know,
Yeah.
showing that the bad guy is smarter than you think,
Right.
and he's able to like keep that information to himself and like use it to his advantage instead of just being like immediately calling her out on it.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty cool.
And at least two that like um it kind of plays on it too, because like earlier in the film, like you see that she's not like an amazing thief, like she's not the world best thief, like she does get caught, kind of a thing.
She's not Catwoman, I'll tell you that.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, my runner up is just Ving Rhames himself. He's funny in the movie. I like that it makes
Oh yeah,
sense
he's
that
great.
he took all the money and stuff from the first movie and like
Yeah.
bought Versace and Gucci stuff, and then it's all
Yeah,
getting
I do like that.
destroyed.
Yeah.
It's super funny. So,
Yeah. I like when he escapes the van with the
oh
bomb.
yeah,
Oh, holy shit. He like grabs his computer. It's pretty
yeah. And
good.
He's like, Naya's in the building. And he's like, yep, thanks, Luther. Thank you. And she's already
Yeah, it's like
leaving.
well after. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's, you're not gonna get the vaccine because it's in this bitch. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah,
All right.
good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a skip. I wouldn't
Skip
recommend
it.
it to anybody who
I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Just that's it.
no. Funny enough,
Um,
Adri wanted to go back and like watch these with me
yeah.
to like also get, just remember. And she just
Mhm.
we just her and I just didn't have like time that lined up to watch it. And now I'm like, man, I'm really glad because like she didn't also need to see it. It's just not.
You didn't want to put her through it.
No, it really bummed me out because it's like I
It's
really
real
like
bad.
Mission Impossible movies, and I knew two was like not good. Like I said, I was like, yeah, it's not great, but whatever.
I
And then
don't.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like you gotta just pretend it's not even a Mission Impossible movie, you know?
Yeah, you really do,
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
it's it's pretty weak. Hey, the whole like their whole like relationship is just very like forced in this
Yes,
movie. It's very quick. It's the whole like chase scene in the beginning.
I can't.
He's like chasing her down. It's just so ungodly stupid and awful. I mean, it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. And like she almost like flies off the cliff and then he like grabs her and then it's like, oh, they're like inseparable. It's like this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I don't know.
So I got a good factoid for you. And this
Okay.
is this is the world could have been just just unbelievably different.
Okay.
Um Where did it go? Where did it go? Not facts. Now it's time for trivia. Um,
Okay.
so Dougray Scott, the guy who plays Ambrosi,
Okay.
he was going to play Logan in X-Men 2000, but filming went over schedule, so they had to hire Hugh
Wow.
Jackman.
Wow.
Can you even imagine?
No.
And I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I think he's good in this movie, but I mean,
Mm,
can you imagine?
no.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine him as Wolverine?
No. No, I
It's
really can't.
just it's just crazy, right? It's like it's pretty crazy. Like Tom Cruise as Iron Man, I get it. That makes sense
Yeah.
to me. But like Hugh Jackman not as Wolverine is like Ryan Reynolds not as Deadpool. It's like it's like what multiverse is this, you know?
Yeah, really.
It's just crazy. That being said, I don't picture anybody else as Iron Man either. I just
Well, the funny
like
thing is,
if Tom Cruise did a cameo and he did like the first movie, it would be different, but I think he would have been good.
well, the really funny thing is that Ian McKellen was offered the Anthony Hopkins role and he turned it down.
That's funny.
So two X-Men connections.
Wow. That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. He was too busy. Yeah, imagine him not as right Magneto.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, we have another Magneto too, but they're both pretty like iconic, I would say.
absolutely.
Yeah. How does our podcast always go into the Marvel route? Maybe it's because the my background is bright red and that's like all like it just sears. Marvel into my brain.
Yeah. It also talked about how Thandie Newton in like 2020 talked about how she had like a really terrible experience, especially shooting the balcony sequence.
Hmm.
And she said it was because Tom Cruise was heavily stressed over the expectations of the sequel being good and was upset during the shooting of the scene because Sandy, her character, had the crappiest lines.
Oh,
So they would reverse role play as practice. He would say her lines and she would say his, but it was ultimately not really helpful and really just made her feel
yeah.
insecure and like things were going to go bad. But she didn't say like screw Tom Cruise. She just was
She's
like,
basically saying that he's like really high end and a kind of a jerk. Is basically what she's saying.
right, right.
Yeah. That scene comes across like that too. That doesn't seem like acting in that scene where he's like, "Would it make you feel better if I told you I didn't want you to do it?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, well, that felt better.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
first of all, great line. A great line. And she's just immediately like, oh, oh, chosen one.
Oh,
Oh,
just
chosen,
yeah.
oh, chosen one. Oh, I don't want you to see me crying this balcony, chosen one. No, wee, woo, wee, woo.
The other thing I just read was that Tom Cruise insisted on the real a real knife be used, and that the knife was attached
Weirdo.
to a cable and was carefully measured to stop a quarter
Oh,
of an inch from his eyeball.
oh,
And
get
then
the,
Doug Ray Scott, Sean Ambrose,
uh-huh.
was to put his full strength down on the knife to get a realistic look for the scene.
Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. What a psychopath. What a psychopath.
Yep,
Yeah.
pretty great.
So read that and then go on in the future when everyone's like, can you believe he held onto the side of the plane? It's like, yeah, that's like the least of his issues. That's so gross. Can you imagine like that all that the
No.
cable with that cable snapped? I mean, it would go right through his
Oh,
head.
he'd be
Like it would
he'd
go straight to his.
be he'd be gone. He'd be gone. Yeah. So looking at this,
Would it make you feel better if I told you I didn't want you to use a real knife? Well, yeah, Tom, that would make me then feel better.
I feel better.
Because you could just make a rubber knife and paint it and have it be,
No, the audience will
God,
know.
that's sick. Yeah, they'll know. Oh, and then he does all that, and this movie still sucks.
Yeah, no, poor guy. Anyways, he's doing fine.
You did it, Tom. Yeah.
So looking forward to Mission Impossible 3. You've seen it, so no spoilers.
I
I'll
don't
tell you,
remember it.
like Simon Pegg is in it.
Like going forward, I kind of really don't remember anything
Yeah, it kind of
super well.
we come out of the pit with 3. Come out of the pit. So
All I remember is this.
that's not 3. That's not 3.
No, I know that's like five or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
He does that. He pulls that move as Wolverine too. That's pretty good.
yeah. Get out of
Yo,
here.
get out of here. The whole reloading his fists. Yeah, pretty good.
That's gonna be
He's
his.
great. I wish he,
I don't know.
man, there's so many things that he's like great in and is really good, but it's just backed by just awful people and people that don't understand anything. And then it's like, oh, he's not doing good. It's like, no, he keeps getting involved in this crappy stuff that these idiots are just like,
Whatever. That's the
they're
same
like,
thing.
hey, source material? Nah. Mm-mm. What's that crap? Nah, we didn't read nothing. Like, oh,
And that's the same
wow.
thing as
Like,
like he's supposed to be involved with like Warhammer 40K,
yeah. I can't
and
wait for them to
everybody's
be
like,
like,
he'll be
oh,
great,
good.
but the movie will be
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna ruin that too. Good, nice. Oh, it's so bad.
how 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 funny is it for that guy to be like Geralt and Superman and a guy
Oh,
in Mission Impossible and all these things, and
and
everybody's just like,
people
even
want him as Wolverine now too.
yeah, and it's like
The Calverine.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just hilarious.
he's fantastic as Geralt. Like he's great.
Yeah,
He's that dark, brooding. Oh, it's just it bums me out. Hurts me deep.
yeah,
Sorry, Henry. I'm sorry. I didn't do it.
and I never will.
Never, I wouldn't hurt you, Henry.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite thing too is like he's this really like you know dreamboat basically for women, and he's wearing a tank top, and he's like, so today I'm going to be building this PC.
Yeah,
Uh, it's
yes,
like I just
yes,
love the fact that he's like a gamer and a geek.
yeah,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
yeah.
So that has been Mission Impossible.
I mean, there's just nothing. It's fine. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. You didn't want to talk about it at length any more than I did.
You remember when they shoot the floor out from underneath him in the lab,
Yes.
and he does this the slide on the glass and shooting two guns, and he's like sliding on the broken glass. That was cool.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
remember when he shoots and the gun stays forward like this and then he
Uh-huh.
spins upside down?
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was neat.
Remember when he did like he would be like really tired and like weak, but he would
Hmm.
still like jump and do a 360 like kick to
Hmm.
like the neck area. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, I remember that.
I do, and the only thing in that scene that I enjoy is like when they would kick, they would like the sand would also fly off their boots. I thought that
Hmm.
was
Yeah,
enjoyable.
that's true.
Yeah. It's like the sand is like,
Remember when they walk into a crowd of people in Sydney, Australia, and they watch a guy juggling like flame?
it was cool. That was pretty
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah,
yeah, it was cool.
it's pretty cool. Remember how she has like 3 days to live basically, but she only can survive for like 10
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah,
Like this is how the patient looks in 72 hours. And then like they finally get to her and she has no signs of like they're like she's got like 10 minutes. She's got 10 minutes. And it was like the doctor, like the controlled doctor who had it, his whole face was like red and like white and like dead skin cells everywhere.
yeah. But
She's
that was a but she had 20 hours.
yeah.
So once it hits 20 hours, it's irreversible.
Oh.
Irreversible.
Oh, okay.
And then
All
in
right.
like,
I mean, you're defending it. I don't know why you're defending it, but
well, because
so
that's what the plot is.
so she gets that's the only plot. So
Yeah,
she infects herself. She has 20 hours until it's unreversible.
correct.
Okay. All right. And then
Which
after
is why
like
he
two
starts his
days, the
watch.
disease kills you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in
All
like
right.
70, whatever it was, 79 hours, 75 hours, he would
Okay.
dead. But
All
it
right.
didn't
I
matter
didn't.
because after 20 hours, it didn't matter.
Yeah, right.
They were
I must
documenting how he died.
I must have dozed off during that.
It was the main doctor guy said it in like the very first part of the movie. And then they kind of repeated
Yeah,
it
right.
again.
Okay.
And then when she jabs in her arm, Ethan starts his stopwatch at 20 hours.
Yeah. I also, yeah, okay, so that makes sense, I guess. Yeah. I kind of forgot about that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's why
I'm
my
sorry, I must have overlooked the finer details.
wow, ooh.
I guess you're just paying attention. Maybe you like this movie more if you paid attention to the
Yeah,
plot.
yeah, really.
You actually understood the comprehension and
Yeah, if we
of
could
the
really.
plot. Yeah. If you really could break down the chimera disease as a whole. Oh man. Yeah. What did she think jumping off the cliff was gonna do? Like, did she think that like that would also hurt the disease would still like infect people from like the water and
Impossible.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
Anyway,
Not at
that's
all.
it.
That's it.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to three. So
3 will be an improvement. I am going to tell you right now confidently and with much happiness.
mm,
You may not like another one going forward. You may just be like, these don't really do it for me, and that's fine.
yeah, they
But they
will
will
not be as bad
never,
as two.
never reach this level, ever. It will never reach this point.
So excited.
I was legitimately shocked. I was like, I do not remember this being this horrible.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't either.
man.
I remembered enjoying it, and then I was just like, "Oh, I really don't like this."
That's why it was really funny to me, like way before when we started, you were like, yeah, you're like, I kind of remember the first one. I kind of remember the third one, but I remember I really liked the second one. And I was like, hmm.
Oh
But
no.
this was before I even saw it. So I was just kind of like, huh,
Yeah. I guess we should just not do this.
just
Yep.
skip it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. Well, that's it. So there you go. Mission
Yeah, but
Impossible 2, Too Fast.
too long.
All right, everybody. So that is it for Mission Impossible 2. Yeah, we didn't enjoy this one, but we didn't really want to just dump on it either. So we had fun talking about it more than watching it, that's for sure.
That is for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, so next time we're gonna be talking about Mission Impossible 3, and we're gonna keep going. Because remember to expect the impossible again. All
This is
right,
how
see you.
this is how I'll end it.
Oh no. Oh, I have to we have to get the Camaro. We have to get it. Oh Jesus. Ah, ah.